Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtressrae. You're watching Mixtress video. So, as per usual, I don't really know what this is. It is the night of Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature is stirring. Anyway, we can't possibly continue with that. What I'm gonna do, is these are my tarot and oracle decks that are numbered. Oracle decks that are numbered, tarot decks, obviously, there's an order to those. Basically, at the beginning of the year, every year, I put my tarot decks in order. So now that I have such a tiny amount, I mean, you can't even really see the scope, but this is it. This is it. These are my tarot and oracle decks that are not in the basement. With the exception of there are 5 oracle decks that, 6 oracle decks that aren't numbered. So I'm not going to be putting those in order. So anyway, the point of this video is that I'm going to put my tarot and oracle decks in order while chatting to you guys about, I don't even fucking know what, but it's the night of Christmas, all of the Christmas shenanigans, the holiday shit, the family shit, the friends shit. It's all over for the year, and I'm home now. And I'm going to have a whiskey and possibly a couple of chocolate balls, and put some decks in order. So, but I want you to be able to see it. This is not a good angle, is it? It just really isn't a good angle. But I don't know how else to do it. I guess, okay, what I could do, I'm not going to light incense right now anyway, so I can move that out of the way. I'd like you to still be able to see the candle. And, I mean, it doesn't really matter where this is. That's not really aesthetic. Those are just my snacks for the video. Bourbon and a couple of dark chocolate balls. Blue balls. Haha. Okay. Whatever. It's good enough, right? I think it's not the worst shot you've ever seen. I guess I could probably angle it down just a tad. Or, you know, I could even just move this a little so that I can angle towards the table more. Okay. Sorry. I thought I had that worked out beforehand, but as per usual, I did not. As per usual, I did not. So, excuse me while I adjust the shot for 5 minutes. Okay. All right. So, I'm just going to put tarot decks in order and talk to you guys. That's the general idea here. So, how was your Christmas? This is kind of premature for me. Usually I do this on, like, literally January 1st is usually when I do this. But this year I am doing it now. Just because I kind of feel like it. And I don't think I've said that I was doing this yet on my YouTube channel. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself if I did say this already. I've been babbling about it to my patrons for like a month. I am, starting January 1st, I am doing a dry January. I guess you can't really see what I'm doing. Not that it matters, I'm just making piles. Not that you really need to see what I'm doing necessarily. But I could possibly make this something that you can actually see because it's satisfying organizing shit, isn't it? I think it is. So, you know, I'm just separating major wands, cups, swords, and Pentacles. So, yeah, you can mostly see it. Good enough, right? Anyway, I am doing a dry January with Tarot and Oracle. I am going to, I guess am I starting early? I might be starting early. So it's going to be like a dry January and a dry last week of December, I guess. I guess that's what I'm doing right now. I am just going to put all of my Tarot and Oracle decks away in order and not use them for, I guess it's going to be 5 weeks. And, you know, this is just something that I do. I like to do this kind of shit. So I am going to do it and see if, because like I said, I told you guys like a couple months ago, I was feeling, essentially I'm feeling dysregulated with the way that I use tarot, and I need to kind of take a step back from it and readjust. So in order to do that, I am going to take a break. And that has been very useful for me in the past, so I assume that it will be useful again. And, you know, worst case scenario, I just take a break from my tarot decks and it tells me nothing. That's fine, right? For me, I think my word of the year, and I kept it private last year, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to make it private right now. Because it, you know, word of the year has never really been that important to me. So I don't think, you know, I necessarily need to keep it private. I'm thinking about my word of the year. This is kind of a stupid word. Abstention. Because sort of the vibe that I have been in lately in general is one of abstention, abstaining, conscientious objection. What I want in my life overall more than anything is simplicity. And simplicity is having less, you know? So that's most of, like, I didn't say, but I'm going to put my tarot and oracle decks in order with you guys. And then after that, I'm going to do a little bit of babbling about, like, my year 2024, what I'm looking ahead to doing in 2025. I don't know if it annoys you guys that my table does this, but it's really not unstable. So don't ever worry, like, if I ever knock this entire fucking table over, I won't make you guys watch that. I will edit it out, I promise. Anyway. I know it bothers me when I watch my own videos back to see the table just like shaking back and forth, but it's the nature of the beast, and I love this table, so it is what it is, as they say. So yeah, I just kind of want to babble about as far as like personal goals and kind of progress in, you know, my psychological and mental well-being. 2024 was one of the best years I have ever had, actually. I feel like I finally took some control over my habits. Is that the right way to say it? And I kind of just want to continue on that vibe in 2025. Yeah, I'm feeling very good about the progress that I made in 2024, and I hope that it will just continue in 2025. 2019. So, I I don't know how interesting this fucking video is gonna be, but I thought I would try it. I've been planning to do it. Like, maybe I'll put for several years in a row, I thought about doing this, like because since I do this every year, putting my decks in order on video sounded fun to me. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, deck 1 in order. Took 11 minutes. Okay, this might be like way fucking longer than I thought it was gonna be. Maybe I'll just do the tarot decks. And this one lives here. Is this one numbered? I can't remember if this is a alphabetical deck or a numbered deck. Oh yeah, it is numbered. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and put these in order. Okay. We'll just do 10s, 20s, 40s, 30s. Okay, this is, I never know how to do it. I just don't put oracle decks in order that much, so it doesn't make any sense. 0 through 20 is together. Like, why am I doing it like that? Again, I'm making it so you can't see it. Oh well. Okay, I'm going to separate this because this is dumb. I was doing it wrong. Okay, so 10 to 20 is here. Okay. Okay. 10 to 20 here. Okay, got it. All right. That makes more sense, totally. So yeah, I made like a little list. I guess I'll sort of babble about my progress, and I'll kind of combine the topics because me putting things in order is not a thing to talk about necessarily, but my reflection on the year is the focus of this video. Okay, sorry, I'm working out the video as I go. And how much can I actually talk while I'm trying to put things in order at the same time? Maybe this is a terrible idea, but I just thought it might be fun to just hang out, very low-key. One thing that was definitely progress for me this year, just kind of going off the cuff, I do have some notes off screen here, but I'm not looking at them yet, is I only bought 2 oracle decks this year. Just 2. That is it. And 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. I ended up getting a few others from a friend sent me some tarot and oracle decks. I think just once this year. I wasn't doing the whole... Other years I've sent a lot of decks out to friends and received a lot. But this last year, it was just one friend that sent me something. And I don't know, I probably sent something to someone at some point, but I don't really remember. But yeah, it wasn't a big year of taking in new stuff. Like overall, this is actually one of the 2 oracle decks that I bought this year. I kept the 2 that I bought for myself this year. I like them both. And that's it. I wasn't, for a long time I had to, I don't know, I guess for those of you that might be tuning in my channel for the first time for some reason, I've really struggled with, I mean, I do call it shopping addiction. Some people don't like to call it that, but I don't have a problem with it personally because I'm just defining myself, right? And I do define what I have been doing for the last like 10 or 15 years of my life in general as being a shopping addiction. I have been buying a lot of stuff online particularly, it has amped up. It started amping up in 2011. It wasn't necessarily great before that, but it got way worse then, and it stayed that way until I've started, like, admitting that I have a problem and trying to work on it the last, like, 4 years or so. So, anyway, this year I made the most progress ever. I really, at first, had to start actively avoiding tarot and oracle channels on YouTube that showed new decks. I had to actively start avoiding it. And it took, like, some fucking time. If you were in this process, it takes time. I would say, like, the last maybe 2 years, I've been trying to actively avoid tarot channels and shit. This one's going to be hard to put in order because it's Roman numerals, and it's Roman numerals that I don't necessarily know always, but I will try. Okay, 18, 22, 4. Anyway, I had to actively avoid those channels, and this year was the first year that, like, I didn't necessarily need to avoid those channels. What is L? Is L 40? I think L's 40. I'm pretty sure. So I will say that if you are just starting out with, like, you know, trying to avoid, if you also have an issue with XL. What's XL? Holy shit. Okay, I do need to find this out. XL. L. Okay. This is the last card in the deck. So that is card 50. Okay, so we'll just do 40 up to 50. There. Okay. Jeez. Okay. I will say that if you are also going through some kind of shopping addiction and you're trying to work on it, there will come a time, I mean, if you're anything like me anyway, there will come a time where you can re-engage with the things that used to be really triggering for you. Like, I don't have to avoid people showing new tarot and oracle decks now because I'm completely over it. I'm completely over it. Like, I'm sure there will be a day where, like, there will be a tarot or oracle deck that, I mean, like, probably what happened this year. I bought 2 oracle decks in 2024 because they were interesting to me and I wanted them. And that's it. Just 2. I'm sure that, like, going forward, that will kind of be the vibe in general. Like, every once in a while, something will catch my eye, and I will be interested in it, and that's it. But, so it's really nice to just be sort of free of that constant desire for novelty. I don't know how to express to you, like, if you were in the throes of just feeling like there's always something that you want to buy, that you're always distracted. Like, I felt like I was constantly, this isn't just tarot that I had a problem with, you know, it was a lot of different things. But for the longest time, I was just constantly distracted by, like, every time I would see something in a video, whether a person was selling that thing or not, I'd be like, what's that? I want that. Where do you get that? It was just constant shopping. And it was a really uncomfortable place to be because it was just constant shopping, constant wanting constant craving of novelty. Like I couldn't live without constant newness in my life. It was just, I keep using the word constant. It was just constant. It was constant. That's what it was. Okay, XL1, XL6, XL7, XL9. XL is 40, right? 40. So 48. This one's 51. I think that's the last card of the deck. This one's 40. 43. 42. 50. Fine. Okay. All right. Okay. I can handle this. 39, 36, 38, 30, 32, 34, 7, 33. These numbers are, Roman numerals are so fucking tiny on this bitch. It's one of my favorite oracle decks, though. So I hope that I can be some sort of light at the end of the tunnel for those of you that are still really in the throes of the constant reaching for something. You know, because capitalism, consumerism, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it, overconsumption culture, it psychologically manipulates us into thinking that we don't have what we need, that there's something lacking that we need. It wants us to feel incomplete without buying the things. That's what it wants from us. And I completely fell for it for so long. I just bought in. I was buying things, like literally bought in, you know? And in this case, I was buying things all the time. And it was not satisfying at all. Like I never felt like I never felt satisfied. I never felt like I had everything I needed because I was so folk oriented towards what I don't have instead of oriented towards what I do have. And this year I did, it's kind of late in the video to start like XLV. Okay, this one's out of order. XLV. What's that? 45. Yep, there's where it goes. Okay. I keep losing my train of thought. This is the stupidest video idea ever. I'm so sorry, you guys. This would be better as a live because then anybody that actually showed up at the moment could like interact. But I've never done a live. How would I even do that now that I don't have a smartphone? That's a good question because my video camera is not like a Wi-Fi enabled video camera, so I could use my webcam on my laptop. So it would be a face video. If I ever do a live, it'll be a face video. And I haven't shown you guys my face in a while. I did want to do that again sometime soon, but it just hasn't happened yet. Every once in a while I like to remind you guys that I have a face. But not today. All right, Woodland Wardens, deck number 3 in order. Three of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, no. 3. Wait. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What? I can't count. Anyway, never mind. Okay. What the fuck was I talking about? I know I was talking about shopping addiction, but... Oh, I did an online no-buy in 2024. And my rules were essentially no buying anything online unless... Oh, I forgot Marigold Tarot. It's in the other room. I'll have to go grab it whenever we get to that point. Because that one's actually out on my reading table in the other room. My rules were basically... I can't buy anything online unless it is a replacement for something. And I had to determine also, I wasn't replacing every single thing. I would try to be thoughtful about, okay, what just broke or what just ran out or whatever. Can I get it in person? First of all, do I actually need this thing? And then if yes, can I get it in person somewhere? So I did find ways to get things in person that I wasn't used to getting in person. And that was nice, actually. You know, I've gotten in the habit of checking certain stores and finding out about certain stores that I have access to in or around my town. Yeah, it's led to some interesting discoveries because basically what I want internet shopping to be, which is my main issue as far as shopping addiction is concerned. I wanted internet shopping to be the absolute last place that I go to for things because I think the Postal Service is really overburdened and I feel for them. One of my best friends is a postal worker and he just never gets a day off. Like, hardly ever. I mean, part of that is just labor practices bullshit, possibly, right? But also it's Amazon. You know, the reason why postal workers, at least in my area, and I don't know if this is nationwide in America or what, but in my area, the only reason why postal workers are working on Sundays, and they do now work on Sundays, is because of Amazon. Basically, they're subcontracted out they're only working for Amazon on Sundays. The U.S. Postal Service. And that is something that motivates me. Like, I do have, you know, my shopping addiction issues are my own personal shit, but they are motivated, my feelings about my shopping addiction, and part of the reason why I define myself as having one at all does relate to the earth, how we're treating the earth, how we're treating the people on this planet. Like, I personally don't want a postal worker, and in my mind, I can imagine my friend. I don't want my friend to have to carry a box of something to my house that I am not pretty reasonably sure is going to be useful in my life. You know, I don't want, and of course you can't control for that completely, right? But like, I don't want it to be stupid bullshit that I really don't care that much about, you know? It's not worth the effort for them to deliver to my house. And that's a very specific example for me personally, but it is something that I think about. But anyway, the rules for my no-buy were basically, okay, which one is Paige and which one is Night? I think Paige is the helmety looking thing. Yes. This is my Dark Angels. She's very beautifully worn, and I love her. Okay, this is Queen. Queen 4. Okay. So, I learned a lot from doing an online no-buy. I am doing it again in 2025, actually. I'm just basically renewing it because it's the way that I want to live. So, that is going to continue. But I did it. I fucking did it. I did the whole year. Like, there was like a couple of purchases that I made that at the time I found a way to justify them to myself, but they really weren't overall that justifiable. So I kind of broke my rules. I bent my rules a little bit. I wouldn't say they were actual breaks. Essentially, the only thing I did this year that I would consider going against the intentions of my no-buy was I bought 2 games for my 3DS. I bought 2 games for my 3DS on eBay. That was absolutely not something that I fucking needed. Not at all. But I justified it to myself because I called them replacements because I had these games in the past and I wanted them again. I'm not sad that I got them. One of them was Bejeweled because I fucking love Bejeweled and I didn't have a way to play it after I got rid of my smartphone. I used to have it on as a DS game. I think it was just the DS version. But anyway, I used to have it and I wanted to be able to play it again. Such a silly thing, right? I wanted the version that I like, which is on the 3DS. Or DS, I don't know which version of it is, but I bought that. And I bought also an Animal Crossing game for my DS as well that I used to have, Animal Crossing Wild World. Those 2 things, they weren't really within the spirit of my online no-buy, but I kind of regret the Animal Crossing purchase because I didn't end up using it that much. But I go through phases with Animal Crossing. I will play it voraciously. Usually the 3DS version, New Leaf. I will play it voraciously for like 2 months, once every 5 years. And you know what? I've decided that's enough to keep my 3DS around. I'll break it out every once in a while. It's fine. But overall, not that important of a thing. But that's really it. I actually stuck to my rules. I stuck to them. And I'm pretty fucking proud of myself, actually. And it changed my relationship to online consumerism completely. It changed it completely. Like, I am to the point where... So today, as I record this, is Christmas Day. I received some money from family members as Christmas gifts. I'm very lucky to have received that. But I only have one thing that I kind of want. It is an online purchase. I am allowed to spend, as per my online no-buy rules, I can spend money that I receive as a gift to purchase things that I want on the internet. So I essentially have money right now that I can spend on the internet, and there's one thing I want, but it's a pair of boots, but I have to wait for them to come back in stock with my size because they're out right now. But that's literally the only thing I want right now. This is the first time in my entire life that I haven't received money for Christmas and immediately known. Usually I have a list in my journal of like, these are all the things I'm going to buy when I get Christmas money. Which, not that there's anything wrong with that, but what I'm bringing it up to illustrate the point that I don't have that wish list. I don't really have a wish list right now. Because I kind of stopped wanting things that I don't need. Okay, I need to kind of separate these. Tarot, Oracle. Okay. I eventually, of course it took time, and there were definitely times that I really fucking wanted something and I added things to favorites lists or watch lists on eBay or, whatever. There were definitely times that like I would get distracted by a certain purchase that I wanted, of something that I wanted. But because I wasn't allowed to just buy things that I didn't need online, I had to wait. And the act of waiting meant that 9 times out of 10, I would stop wanting that thing. And the things that I actually continued to want until there was an opportunity where I could actually get it, I was just happy with those purchases. Like one of the Oracle decks I bought was just such a thing. It had been on my wish list all year. I got money from back when I still had my YouTube channel was monetized. My one payout that I got in 2024 came sometime in the summer, and I bought that Oracle deck with that money. Chasing a chocolate ball with bourbon. This is alive right here. Anyway, my point, if I do have one, is that I really don't want a lot of things anymore. Like, I'm actually to a point where I can pretty securely say, I don't need anything, I don't want anything. The gratitude came after the abstention, if that makes sense. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. The gratitude came after. I chose not. It's like, is there a bat in here? I chose not to make the purchases, and then I stopped wanting the things. And that's incredibly good news to me and incredibly encouraging. I was able to make I actually made some big purchases this year. I mean, not huge, but bigger purchases. Like, I bought myself a new iPod, a new phone, because I bought a dumb phone this year, a laptop, a digital camera, a purse, a leather, nice-ass adult purse. I feel like there was something else, too. I guess that's it. Those were like bigger purchases that I won't need to make in 2025 because those things are secure now, Hopefully my phone will last at least 5 years. Same with the iPod. Same with the laptop. The purse should last me my entire fucking life. That's how nice it is. I've never had a nice purse in my life. But I did that this year. Like, I was able to buy, the point of bringing this up is that I was able to get myself these nice things because I wasn't spending all of my money all of the time on the internet. And I'm taking that a step further. Like, basically the difference between my no-buy 2024 versus my no-buy 2025 is I'm taking it one step further of, like, basically my rules are going to be the same for my online no-buy in 2025, except that I'm also adding in a component of trying to save money. Like, instead of just letting myself have the extra money that I have from not buying things online all the time, I am going to be transferring that extra money into savings accounts in 2025. And I don't have super lofty goals because, like, when I'm talking about extra, it's basically going to be like the day before my payday, every 2 weeks, whatever I still have in my account is going to go into a savings account, or go toward a debt or something like that. And I'm talking like, that's going to be, sometimes it's going to be nothing. Other times it's going to be like $20. Sometimes it might be $100. But overall, like, I am a woman of limited enough means that this is not going to be like a huge amount of money I'm going to be saving. But as long as, basically I wrote down the amount of money that I have in my savings accounts at the end, you know, like the second week or third week of December. And then a year from now, I'm hoping that that number will be higher. That's all. That's really the only expectation I have at this point, because I've never saved money in my entire life. So this will be new for me. So that's the extra component. God, I love Halloween tarot. God, I love it. Is this the best Ace of Pentacles ever? I mean, fucking hell. How do you get better than that? I used to think this deck was cheesy. I mean, not that it's not, but I mean, I thought it was too cheesy to want it. And then suddenly one day I was like, no, that's for me. And it is. Anyway, appreciation. Appreciation for tarot decks. I do have appreciation for tarot decks. I have found, though, there are definitely times where I will look up a flip through of a deck that I'm thinking about perhaps being interested in, or like not even necessarily like that I want to have it, because a lot of the times now, if I do like look at a flip through or something like that, it's just to appreciate it, not necessarily that I need to. That's another thing, is like I feel like in general I was distracted constantly before this year with anything that I had an interest in. I felt like I needed to possess. I don't feel that way anymore. Like, I can be interested in something, I can enjoy the artwork of something, I can genuinely appreciate someone else's stuff without needing to possess it myself. I'm much better at like taking a look at what I have and being like, yeah, that's not gonna, I don't really need that, or I don't really want that, etc. Am I saying anything interesting in this stupid fucking video? I don't know. I really do go through a lot of like wondering why I'm fucking doing this. Because I am just a very simple girl that has too many fucking thoughts, putting those thoughts on the internet in a den of millions of other voices, right? But hey, thank you for being here. If you are here, I do enjoy doing this. So I enjoy seeing my thoughts reflected in others, and also getting to hear, you know, I mean, that's what we're all here for, right? To find out that we're not alone. That's why we scream into the void, so that the void can scream back at us. So, but I do have moments where I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I doing this? It's so dumb. Like, nothing I say is important. I mean, it's just my own stuff. It is important to me. It's important for my life and my process. And, you know, it's not like it's not important, but it's, why would anyone care about the bullshit that I say, you know? And that's not me, like, fishing for anything. Please. It is not. I am just genuinely, like, and it's not existential either, really. It's a genuine question. You know? Just, yeah. Anyway. Okay, are we at the world yet? Where's the world? There we go. Okay, 10, or 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So my online no-buy went spectacularly. It really did. It changed my life. If you were thinking about doing anything like that, I do highly recommend it. Any type of no-buy or low-buy. Because if you can actually get through those first, like, hunger pains of fasting, abstention, whatever you want to call it, whatever rules you make for yourself, if you can get through those first initial waves of like, holy shit, this thing that I'm used to doing, this release valve that I'm used to pulling isn't available anymore, you will find healthier ways to cope. And my life is so much better now, and I have less debt, and I have less stuff in my life, and I enjoy the stuff that I have more because I'm not overstimulated all the time. And I mean, there's different, okay, this is going to have to be like a 50s, 60s, 20s, 0 to 10, 0 to 10, 20s, 40s. Okay. All right. Sorry, I had to talk myself through that. 50s. I really do. I mean, there's other aspects to this for me personally because it led to me doing a no-buy year, led to me doing so many other things as well. I ended up cutting back on sugar. This was in January. My grandma always gives me a package of these little dark chocolate balls in my stocking every year. And I love them. They're just pure dark chocolate. So tasty. And I bring that up because I remember I still had some left from Christmas whenever I started cutting back on sugar. So that's how early in the year I decided to start doing that, when I hadn't planned on doing it. And I feel a lot healthier now, for sure. Like, it is a huge difference. And it's obvious to me because, like, for example, like the last 2 weeks or so, because of like the fact that Christmas time in the United States, there's fucking sugar everywhere I turn. Someone's trying to give me cookies or like whatever in the break room at work. Like, you know how it is if you live here, or probably other countries that have been highly influenced by America. It's awful how much sugar we fucking consume on a daily basis. For me personally, anyway. Like, once I cut back... Anyway, the point is, the last month or so, I have been eating sugar a lot more. And I felt bad. Like, my digestion is bad, my mental health is worse, I'm having mood swings. Like, some of the stuff I might be attributing to sugar when it's really not sugar that's causing it, you know what I mean? But it's a thing. It is definitely a thing. My God, 49 minutes, and I've only done 5 decks, and I still have 4 left. Okay, all right, this is a long-ass video. That's fine. You guys knew when you clicked on it. You knew what it was. I'm the one that doesn't know. So anyway, I mean, I don't want to sit here, like, these are things that I've been talking about all year, but it is what I've been going through. It is something that I did this year that I was not planning to do, which is cut back on sugar. And when I did it, now I'm having to kind of, like, I'm sort of going to have to go through it again a little bit. because I'm going to have to scale back because I sort of got acclimated to eating more again, and I have felt like shit. And it reminded me that this is how I felt all the time before. All the fucking time. I just felt like hot garbage all the fucking time. Isn't that awful? So I'm really glad to overall be out of that, but I'm going to have to rededicate myself to the cause. Really, I'm starting tomorrow. I mean, I haven't been completely off the wagon, but like it's not as bad as previous years in my life at Christmas time, but it's way worse than the amount that I've been consuming this year in general. So hopefully I'll never go back on that because I'm healthier, I'm happier, and it's been amazing for me. And I'm not even doing anything like super drastic either. It's just I'm cutting back. I still allow myself to, like, it on no day would it be against my rules to have some chocolate balls. So I just have to, pay attention to how much sugar I'm consuming and make sure that I don't go over the limit that I've set for myself, which is working really well for me. So I'm going to keep that limit the same. Okay, I'm just kind of going over my achievements of the year. So the online no-buy went amazing, and it sort of indirectly led to me cutting back on sugar because it was like, I don't know, it started this cascade of like me realizing essentially that in so many different areas of my life I'm overstimulated and I want to simplify. So, making the decision to do less, have less, experience less in the sense of mostly, it's mostly online input, and also the sugar thing, but mostly online input is needed to be severely limited for me to regain control of my life and help with my mental health in general. Like, I just didn't even realize it until I kind of got out of it and could look at how I felt before. I didn't even realize like how overstimulated I was at all times. So let's see. Let me check my notes here. Oh, I ended up like doing some I sort of took some control of my finances in 2024 too. Like I found cheaper car insurance, cheaper home insurance, cheaper cell phone plan. My cell phone plan now is $14 a month. Like even with like all the like taxes and fees and extra shit, it's like 14 something a month. It's incredible. So there's that. I found ways to be smarter with money this year. Again, it was just sort of like once the smoke clears from like all the fucking distractions and things complicating my life, all of these other things became clear. It's like, I'm sure a lot of people that have overcome addictions in their lives might say something similar, that like once you actually overcome the thing that you were using as a coping mechanism, once you give up that thing that you were using as a coping mechanism to deal with your life, then suddenly the problems of your life are staring you in the fucking face. And if you have what it takes to start dealing with them, anyway, that's just kind of how it was for me anyway. Is like, once I could see what it was that I needed to deal with, I started taking care of things sort of one by one. And I've improved my life. The things that I was avoiding, by buying too many things on the internet. I had to face those things once I didn't have the option to buy things on the internet, you know? And that was a good thing. It was a good thing to face those things. So, and then that led to, in the summer, I gave up having a smartphone. There's no way I could have done that if I didn't do the online no-buy. You know, it indirectly led to that. It was like, if I had known I was going to do all of these things at the end of 2023 and I made a list for myself, it would have seemed like there's no way I'm going to accomplish all of this. You know, if I had made a list, quit smartphone forever, quit Instagram forever, quit sugar, quit shopping online, like whatever. If I had made a list of all these things, it would have been like way too fucking much to expect you to do in 1 year, but it just happened. And maybe, you know, just the stars aligned. Like, I don't expect to have this many achievements next year because I've never had this many achievements in a year ever. So I don't expect this to happen again in 2025. Like, the main expectation is I want to continue on the path that I'm on, and I want to save some money, and I want to start belly dancing again. Those are like sort of the main goals for 2025. So yeah, the other thing, I just sort of mentioned it, but I quit Instagram, WhatsApp, a few other things, but it was essentially important to me to give up all Mark Zuckerberg apps. So I did that in 2024. 11, 56, 31. So that ended up, when did I quit Instagram? That wasn't that long ago. It was only like maybe a couple months ago. So that was sort of the order. Cut back on sugar in January. Got cheaper car insurance, home insurance, all that stuff, like somewhere around March. Quit smartphone and switched to a cheaper phone plan in the summer. Quit Instagram like September, somewhere around there. And these were all really, really good things for me. They were steps that I needed to take for a long time. And the funny thing is, like, I've also been doing some decluttering lately, like, just in general, I'm realizing that, like, the amount of stuff in my life, like, managing the stuff in my life, the possessions that I carry with me energetically and literally, even though I'm not moving, thankfully, I'm not moving all the time, knock on wood, so I don't, like, literally have to take them with me somewhere. But, you know, energetically, I'm carrying these things with me. My possessions are attached to me, since I do see myself as kind of an animist. So that makes sense with the way I conceptualize my shit. Oh, wait, 50s? No. The 3s and the 5s look too similar. Okay. Ooh. I don't normally put oracle decks in order, but I'm basically just doing it because I enjoy doing it. And it is a nice little reset for things. But anyway, you know, God, I just feel like I'm fucking bragging, but I just want to, again, provide a beacon if you are struggling with some of the things that I have struggled with. And most people are, honestly. Like, in my opinion, I feel like I'm looking at a world of shopping addiction these days. Like, we're all susceptible because they know exactly how to get you. Like, these marketers, they all have like fucking psychology degrees, and you know, they know exactly how to manipulate us. Do not feel bad when you fall for it. Don't feel bad. But I'm just saying there is a way out. And for me, it has meant a lot of, you know, just kind of saying no to a lot of things. Saying no to a lot of stimulus. And it felt like deprivation at first, but now it just feels like freedom. It's fantastic. I currently do not have any credit card debt. I'm really happy to say that. I still have student loan debt forever and ever, most likely. But I don't have credit card debt. And, you know, I'm lucky to say that because, like, you know, I don't even want to say out loud what I'm thinking because I am still very superstitious. I would say I'm superstitious. I'm a little stitious. But, you know, I am lucky and I am privileged to say that I have no credit card debt. Like, some things could happen. That, yeah. I'm lucky. I am lucky. But part of that is fucking hard work, too. I worked goddamn hard to get to this point. I really did. So I just, you know, it's actually kind of a weird feeling, and I don't really know how to navigate it. The fact that, like, you know, it's Christmas. I got money today. I could buy things for myself. But there's nothing that I need. There's one thing that I want that I cannot have right now because I am waiting for my size to come back in stock. But that's it. That's the only thing I want right now. Not literally. Like, there is one other thing that I want at the moment. But it's like a $25 thing. So it's like not even something I need to use Christmas money on. Something I can just get for myself. And I'll probably get it tomorrow, actually. But because Michael wants to go to the mall. We're kind of mall rats. I love walking around malls. I hardly ever buy anything, but I enjoy people watching. I enjoy seeing. I still enjoy, like, looking at stuff, even though I don't want to possess it most of the time anymore. But I still enjoy looking at it. I enjoy the delight of, like, you know, feeling a fabric or, yeah, just, I enjoy stuff. I enjoy design. I enjoy artistry, but I don't feel the need to possess every little thing now, thankfully. I'm able to do a lot more follow through too, which is a nice change. Whenever I do get tempted by something that I might want to buy, I can usually think to myself, okay, do I have anything like that? And these are things that, like, you might want to write down some of these questions for yourself if you're going through that right now, like asking yourself, okay, do I have anything else like that that already serves that purpose? Do I need another one? If so, what kind of maintenance is that thing going to require of me? You know, like in the case of a tarot deck, like all you have to do is have the space to store it, right? And also be able to energetically, psychologically, psychically, however you want to frame that, you have to be able to handle it in that sense, which that has been a challenge for me because these things have an energetic weight, in my opinion, for me anyway. So, like, I've got plenty of space to store all the tarot decks that I might ever possibly want, but I can't actually handle it energetically and psychically. Psychologically, I can't handle it, which is why there's so little left in my collection. Not because because I can delight in the art of a tarot deck, but that is not the same thing as actually enjoying using it, you know? Anyway, I can usually follow that shit through now. I can usually be like, okay, this thing is beautiful and I want it and I have the money for it. But do I want to store it? Do I want to do the upkeep on that? Like in terms of a tchotchke, like, do I want to dust that for the rest of my life? No. Okay. I'll leave it. Leave it in the antique store. Sometimes I'll take pictures of, you know, cute little tchotchkes and things. And there are times that, like, you know, I'll go back to a store because I'm still thinking about something and get it. Or it's gone. And you know what? That used to, like, bother me so much to think that, like, I might miss out on something. But now that I've gone through it so many times, like, I've missed out on so many things. And you know what? It doesn't fucking matter. You know, I'm finally feeling the whole, like, if you're meant to have something, it will come into your life. I'm feeling that way now. It was always something that I wanted to believe before, but now I do believe it because I've been through it. You know, I've had to wait for things. Like, for example, these boots that I want right now. I waited a year. I had to wait a year to get them because I have to buy them online. And so I have to use either like birthday money, Christmas money, that kind of thing to get it within my rules. So I had to wait until now, and they don't have my size. And that's fine. Like, I'm not like distracted by that. It's in my mind. I put myself on one of those, like, notify me when you're back in stock, blah, blah, blah things. And it'll happen when it happens. I mean, it might be months from now. It may never happen. And guess what? It'll be fine if it never happens. It will be fine. I will find another pair of boots that I like. You know? You know, just nothing is that important, you know? And I felt, and of course, like, you know, duh, right? But for a while, I would just get so greedy, desperate, hungry, distracted, dysregulated by any time I found out that a thing existed in the universe that I thought I wanted. Like, I just couldn't think straight until it was mine. Which is just, like, thinking back to that version of myself. Like, I'm glad I'm not her anymore. I'm really glad I'm not her anymore, and I hope that I can keep this up, because I've seen other people, like, online do, like, an online no-buy and have so many great realizations from the process and, like, such a huge improvement in their lives, and then they fall back off the wagon again eventually. Like, it's always a danger with any addiction, right? So, you know, I'm not out of the woods. I'm never going to be out of the woods. Oh, God. That's such a depressing thought. But, I mean, I'm driven to keep this up because my life is better now. So. And yeah, I know, I fucking talk about this shit all the time. But, I mean, I've needed to talk about it all the time. Like, that's what this channel is here for me. It's me processing my shit. Me saying my shit out loud. Me hearing myself say this shit out loud so that I can call myself on my bullshit. That's the reason that I'm here. long have I been talking? An hour and 9 minutes. Wow. Wowie, wow. It's so fun, though. I love just... I mean, apparently I enjoy hearing myself talk. Because I will just sit and talk to myself, whether or not anyone can hear me. I will just fucking sit and talk to myself about the stupidest goddamn shit. So anyway, it's been a good year as far as like me figuring out my shit. I've been figuring it out slowly. I've been also just reclaiming I've been getting back into the things that I love. I listened to more music this year than I have in, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years. It's possible. I am like really feeling it too with music again in a way that I haven't in such a long time. 18, 2, 3, 4. So it'll come back. You will reclaim, like, okay, so I feel like, I guess I'm just imagining that the person that I'm talking to right now, the person that can hear me right now, is another person that has shopping addiction. What was I saying? I don't know. Okay, I remember now. For the longest time, the only thing that I was like writing in my journals, it was just constantly like wish lists. Like, I want this because, and I need this because, etc., etc. And I would just, and you know, whatever, I write about the things that I'm processing. This was something that I was processing. So, you know, it served its purpose for me to write about it. But I was sort of self-loathing at the same time because I was thinking, oh my God, this is what I have to write about. What I have to write about is the things that I want to purchase. This is so dumb. But now that I've forced myself to abstain from purchasing things on the internet, yeah, I'm going to put Halloween Tarot together again, because this is the 10 size version that I keep in my purse, which I'm not going to put back in my purse right now. This might actually be in order. Yeah, I put it in order recently. Okay, so I don't have to do that one. But now, my journal is full of all kinds of other shit. Like, is it interesting? Probably not. Like, I'm not saying that I am writing the coolest things or anything, but at least it's not constantly, I want to purchase this, and I want to purchase this, and this is the reason that I need this, and this is the reason I need this, and blah, blah, blah. At least it's not that anymore. Okay, last one. And I am very, very happy about that. So I also got out my planner for 2025 so that I could kind of talk to you guys about some stuff. I've got it all set up. I got it at the dollar store for $1.25. Pretty proud of that. I've got my dry January ready to go with little check boxes on each day. So every day that I don't use tarot or oracle, I can check it off. I'm going to do, hopefully, a no internet Pisces season. So I've got little check boxes starting at the beginning of Pisces season for that. I've got online no-buy pages set up to keep track of. I did this in 2024, so I'll do it again in 2025 to keep track of like all my online purchases that fall within my guidelines, to keep myself honest. I've got my sort of goals for the year. So that's the page that I'll probably stay on here to talk to you guys about it. Just kind of as a, yeah, this is just me talking about my goals for the next year. So I've got my dry January listed on here. No tarot and oracle at all throughout the month of January. And also apparently I'm starting now. Or maybe I'm not. Oh wait, I still have Marigold Tarot to put in order. That one I think I will just put in order on my own because that is the one that I have out to use for myself. So perhaps I will allow myself to continue using it for the last few days of the year. Oh, and my Dark Mirror Oracle is in the other room too because that's the Oracle deck that I'm using right now. So yeah, those two decks will not be in order and I will put those in order at the end of the year. I guess. I don't know. Whatever. I'll just decide what to do with that separately from this video. So yeah, I'm just going to go through my 2025 goals here with you guys, a few of them anyway, just to talk about, you know, what I'm looking forward to accomplishing next year, because this year I fucking accomplished some goddamn shit, okay? Fucking accomplished some goddamn shit. So hopefully I can keep that momentum going, because it's like I actually worked hard and got some shit done this year. That has not been the case with me in my life, generally speaking. I'm not great at accomplishing goals. So, dry January for Tarot and Oracle. No Tarot and Oracle. I have a 5-year diary that I bought a few months ago. Not sure how I'm going to feel about using a 5-year diary. But I already bought it. I already glued some shit to the cover. I already filled out some, you know, that little if found, please return to whatever page in the front. So I'm going to try it at least. I'm going to use it for at least a month or two. And if I don't like it, I'll stop. But it basically only, I can show you guys because I have it right here, I think. I think it's behind me. Yeah. It has just like 6 lines per day. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. 6 lines per day. So this is just going to be me filling out very basic, like, went to a movie today, sat around in my pajamas till 2 p.m. Like, whatever. It's going to be just really dumb information. And I'm kind of like, the reason why I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it is like, why? Why do I think that my days are important enough to keep track of like that? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to ultimately enjoy it. But I did write it in my planner to use my 5-year diary because I want to at least do it long enough to know whether or not I want to do it, basically. My money saving goals are in here, which is essentially my general plan, at least for now, and I might have to readjust it if it doesn't work, is the day before I get paid. My paydays are once every 2 weeks. So once every 2 weeks, the day before I get paid, if there's anything left in my account, and that's how close to the edge I live, if there's anything left, I will transfer it to either my savings or my joint savings with Michael. And yeah, that's the idea anyway. And I wrote down the amount of money that are in my savings accounts right now, so that hopefully I can see that that number has grown. I have no idea what to expect. Am I going to be able to save $1,000? Less? More? I have no idea, but I'm going to try to be dedicated to saving some money and see how it goes. The other goal that this is one thing that, like, I never fucking accomplish this. Like almost every year I have some sort of exercising goal. I do not exercise. But the goal that I wrote down for 2025, I really want to do. So I am going to say it out loud now. You guys are all my accountability buddies. I want to belly dance once a week. Ideally, I'd like to do it more than that, but I'm going to set the goal as once a week to start. Because it is just really good for me in general. I enjoy doing it. It is a good workout, and it's really good for stretching my hips in particular and loosening up my hips. And I tend to follow in the path of my grandma when it comes to health-related things. And she is in her mid-80s, and she has a lot of mobility issues. And that's pretty normal, right? This is a wand. That's pretty normal to have mobility issues in your 80s, right? You know? But I want to be better as far as mobility is concerned. I need to be better. So my two main exercise goals are go for a walk every day. And some days that's not going to happen, but generally speaking, I would like to go for a walk almost every day. And for the most part, I keep up with that. That is on my list of goals every year. I could do better with that. So I would like to be a little bit more dedicated to doing that as much as possible. So that's still on my list, but also the belly dance thing. I want to belly dance once a week, which for me that means I have some belly dance DVDs that I've had for many, many years, and I love doing them, and I would like to do one of those DVDs once a week, at least. So really hope I can check that off as something that I actually did. I seem to be better at goals that are related to giving up things. I am better at giving up things than I am actually adding a new activity or hobby into my life. So that's going to be harder for me to do. If I, at this time next year, I'm telling you that I kept up with my belly dance practice and did it almost every fucking week, I'm going to be really proud of myself. So that is something that I would like to do. And every time I do it, it's not like it's fucking hard, and I'm always really happy I did it, but still I have a hard time forcing myself to do it. I'm fortunate enough to know that this is the workout that's for me. I already have access to it. Just have to pop in the DVD anytime. It couldn't be easier to do it. It takes 30 minutes of my life each time I do it. It could not be easier. The walking thing too. Even when the weather is shit and I don't want to go outside, I have a treadmill. I am really lucky to have that. So, yeah, I have no excuse. I have no fucking excuse. Okay, what else is on here? Oh, the online no-buy year 2 I have written down because that is important to me. Daily walks, already said that. No internet Pisces season. I wrote down in my goals for 2025, continue my limited sugar, continue Mixtress radio, which is my favorite thing that I do. That's kind of a freebie because it's not going to be hard for me to continue doing that. I have some goals for zines. I haven't put out an issue of my zine since 2014? July 2014. So I have a plan. I'm doing a joint zine with a friend of mine. We're going to put out a zine in hopefully like the end of winter is the plan. I haven't really started working on it yet, but whatever. We'll get that done when we get it done. But basically half the zine's going to be her content and the other half is going to be mine. And then I have plans for a zine to do by myself later in the year. I don't know, that might be a little bit ambitious since I haven't put out a single zine in over a decade, and I plan to put out 2 in 2025, but I mean, I would like to try to do, I at least want to have one, the one that I'm doing with my friend. So I did just write that down because I like to have a few things in my goals for the year that I can check off during the year. You know, like a lot of these are like, I can't check them off until the end of the year if I actually kept up with it all year long. But I like to have a few things on there that are concrete one-time goals that I can check off. Because I like to see some gold stars up in my shit, you know? And then, yeah, just some other, like, more personal goals. But yeah, so that's kind of my little hour and a half long Babelfest assessment of 2024 and thoughts for 2025. Thoughts and goals for 2025. I'm getting it back. Another thing that I want to say for those of you, did I say this in another video already? Forgive me if I did, but if you are thinking about quitting a smartphone, I highly recommend it. I'm getting my attention span back. So if you were wondering, if I quit a smartphone, will I get my attention span back to read books? You will. It'll happen. I read like 45 books this year or something, which is a lot more than I've read any year in the 10 previous. I've been really enjoying it too. I'm reading pretty voraciously. And it's nice because reading is the type of activity that, you know, it does take more from you. You do need to pay more attention to read a book. And I just wasn't fucking capable of, I mean, I did read books before when I had a smartphone, but I wasn't really comprehending entirely, I'd say. Particularly the types of books that I like to read nonfiction. I like to read about subjects that I'm interested in. So you do have to have the ability to really tune in to books like that. And I just wasn't, I didn't have it in the smartphone days, but it's coming back. It will come back. I know not everybody needs to not have a smartphone in order to have attention span. Like, not everybody was as addicted to their phone as I was to mine. But if you are, and you're wondering, will I ever be able to read again? Is it gone forever? It's not. You'll get it back. It'll come back. And it's amazing. It is so fucking worth it. I would highly recommend all the things that I gave up this year. If you're thinking about giving up sugar, I recommend. Obviously, everybody's different, so not all of this shit is going to make a huge difference to everybody. But for me, giving up sugar made a huge difference. Highly recommend. Giving up smartphone, huge difference. Highly recommend. Giving up shopping on the internet, huge difference. Highly recommend. Giving up all social media, huge difference. Well, maybe not a huge difference because I didn't use Instagram that much. Like, I definitely gradually stepped back from social media. Like, I quit Facebook. It's probably been like 7 years. 5 to 7 years ago, I quit Facebook. And then I quit Instagram this year. And those were like the main two. Like I still have YouTube. I mean, I do consider that a social media, but that's really the only one I still have. Yeah. I feel like almost a different person. I mean, that's a little much to say, but as far as like my anxiety is a million times better. My mental health is better. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with the anxiety, right? But I am a lot less overstimulated these days. And I would attribute most of that to quitting a smartphone. The overstimulated thing, the overstimulus thing. Like, I'm not task switching constantly anymore because my phone doesn't distract me. It can't. The only thing it can do is tell me when I have a text message or a phone call. That's the only thing it can distract me with. That is it. I guess technically it could distract me with a calendar alert, but the only thing I have put into the calendar of my phone is my work schedule. And it tells me like 10 minutes before I'm supposed to be there. It reminds me. So, yeah. My phone cannot distract me anymore. And just that alone, like, if you're the type of person that could actually, like, get by with just turning off all the extraneous notifications on your smartphone, if you could actually do that and stick with it and delete all the apps that you don't need, I couldn't ever do that. Like, I was incapable of making my smartphone dumb and keeping it that way. I tried. I couldn't do it. I would just reinstall those fucking apps. I would just gradually go back to all the things that I was trying to stay away from. So I had to switch to a dumb phone. That was just really the only option that would work for me. And it did work. It did work. Absolutely it did. It made all the difference to me, and I'm never going back. I really hope I don't ever go back on that. I do really miss the fucking camera, though. Goddamn, that is the thing that I do miss. But not enough to go back to that life, because it was just a constant, the task switching alone, the fact that I was just constantly being interrupted from my thoughts to try to pivot to thinking about something else or doing something else, or oh, I gotta deal with this right now. I gotta deal with this right now. Like, every email that came in, I felt like I had to deal with it immediately. Every text message, I felt like I had to answer it immediately. And, like, I've just become so much more casual with that shit. Even, like, the text messages. Like, I still get fucking text messages on my dumb phone. But I feel no sense of urgency answering people. Like, it's a fucking text message. I can answer it when I want. And part of that also, so one thing that I would recommend if you're not quite ready to, like, quit a smartphone, turn off iMessage. Seriously. Do it. Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass at first to like figure out how to navigate turning it off and having everything work correctly. It's a headache. But go through it, because like, you do not need for people to know when you've seen their messages. You do not need for people to know when you are composing a message. You do not need, like, any of that bullshit. Like, being away from that is so calming. Because someone sends you a text, they have no clue when you've read it. They have no clue when you've started composing a reply. They know nothing except when you send them something. And just that alone made such a huge difference to me. Just being in that world of, like, they only know what I have decided to reply to them. And that is it. It sounds so stupid, But like just seeing those three little dots when someone's composing a message and then it disappears. And then it comes back up. You don't need that. You don't need that in your life. It causes anxiety. I mean, for me it did anyway. And you don't need to know every second you get an email. I check my email like once a day, usually. Sometimes I go a couple days now. And I've unsubscribed from like all the stupid bullshit, you know, like I don't get sales newsletters or anything like that anymore. So most of the spammy shit just doesn't even come through anymore. So I only get like, I don't know, 3 to 5 emails a day. It's so easy to just like sit down in the evening, deal with it for 5 minutes, and you're done. I mean, obviously like different people have different, like if you need email for your job, I do have email associated with my job, but I'm only allowed to check it when I'm at work. So that's not a problem for me. I don't need to deal with work emails when I'm at home. So that's definitely something that may be different for you, but do you really need your work emails all fucking day, every day? Or just when you're on the clock? Even if you work from home, do you really need to be available to your boss at all times? And if you really do, can they not text you if something's really urgent? You know? I don't know. I personally think smartphones were the bane of my existence, so good fucking riddance. Don't miss you at all, except the camera. But, you know, I do think eventually, like, dumb phones are gonna catch up with some of the, like, more useful technology bits. Like the camera shit on mine. But eventually I'll be ready for a new dumb phone. I'll need to replace this phone at some point. And at that point, hopefully there'll be an affordable dumb phone option with a great camera. And in the meantime, I've got a digital camera. It works fine. Like, is it a pain in the ass? Yes. Does it take pictures as good as my smartphone? No. But, you know, whatever. Like, another thing that I feel like I've learned this year, through the no-buy, through the smartphone thing, blah, blah, blah. All of these things that I am now missing out on, I feel like I kind of said this earlier, but whatever. Let's get to 2 hours, shall we? No, I don't really want to do that. Like, how much more babbling do I really have in me? Maybe 5 more minutes. I don't know, you can see. All the things that I'm missing out on, even the things that I genuinely miss, like the camera, it's not that big a deal. Like, there's so many things that you can just not have in your life, and you're fine without it. It's amazing. I don't really need much of anything. Truly. It's incredible. I just had, okay, you know, let's babble about Christmas, shall we? I'm gonna eat this chocolate ball. What time is it? It's only 11 o'clock at night, not even late. Okay, this is my last chocolate ball of the day. It's like my 4th chocolate ball of the day, maybe 5th or 6th. Whatever, it's fucking Christmas. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. So Christmas. This year, my family, we made an agreement that we weren't buying each other gifts. How well did it work out? My Michael, he did get me a couple of things. So he did sort of go outside the guidelines, but they were all things that I like. You know, I tend to be the kind of person that I want a lot of things. Yes, the amount of those things has gone down, but still, when I want something, I mention it to him, so it's easy for him. Like, anything within any price range, he knows what I want. He knows how to shop for me. He likes shopping for me. So he did get me a few things. We all agreed. But for the most part, I came away, like, from Christmas with minimal stuff that I'm going to have to find something to do with. And this is like, an incredibly privileged thing to say, right? Like, my entire life, I've been given a lot of things at Christmas. But the thing is, probably 90% of it was not, historically, maybe 75% of it was like pretty useless, and 20% of it was stuff that I actually had on wish lists. Yeah. And then there's that other, 5%? Yeah. That other 5% was just like something that I never thought I wanted that turned out I actually do really like. Like last year, for example, my mom got like obsessed with some silk pillowcases that I'm sure were advertised on like a podcast or something that she listens to. And she bought everyone in the family a silk pillowcase. It was a really nice thing. That is an example of something that like I never would have thought to buy myself a silk pillowcase. But I fucking love that thing. I love it. And it's a nice thing. So it's something outside of the useful that was on my wish list, or not that useful, extra crap that I don't want. There's a lot of like giving someone something just to give someone something happens a lot in my family. A lot of like, buying cheap crap at cheap crap stores. Or like gimmicky things like that like are the kinds of things, those types of gifts that you receive from someone that's like, oh, okay, this is an interesting thing. Oh, it does this? Ooh. And then you have some fun with it in the moment that you're opening it. But then that's the entire usefulness of the product. You know what I mean? It's like, this thing is not actually a useful everyday item. It was just like this? What is this? Oh, ha 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 ha. Take a picture. Then you're done with it, That's the kind of stuff that I want to be completely away from, Anyway, I go off on this every fucking year, the Christmas thing, because I don't like useless gifts. At this point in my life, it's like, I am thinking about things like, when I donate something to a thrift store, where is it fucking going? Who has to deal with this? It is important to me to think that shit through. If I'm taking something into my life, what is the likelihood that I'm going to want to let it go? And if I do, how am I going to let it go? Is it going to be easy for me to let it go? Is it going to end up in a landfill? Is it, like these things we can't entirely control, and we can't think about that shit too much if we are in the throes of having too much shit already. Like, if we need to get rid of a bunch of shit, like, do it however you need to do it. If you need to throw it away, if you need to donate it en masse to a thrift store, like, whatever you need to do to get it out of your life and stop bothering you, do it. But I am thankfully to the point now where, like, not a lot of stuff is being sent back out because not a lot of stuff is coming in. So I can be thoughtful about what I do with things. But it's such a fucking pain in the ass to get rid of shit. And I'm sick of doing it. So I'd rather just not take in stuff then figure out what to do with it later, you know? I'm at that point. Oh, here's a fun thing to end this video on. I already shared this with my patrons, so this is a repeat for those of you that are my patrons. I made an inventory. At this point, we are going to 2 hours, aren't we? Okay, whatever. It's a 2-hour video. Deal with it. I made a list of things that I have. In most cases, these are things that I would like to either use up entirely or use up a lot of in 2025. But basically, I made a list at the end of 2024, inventory list of a few different things. And we're going to see where I fall on those amounts at the end of 2025. So I have a pen tin that has mostly purple pens in it. There are 14 pens in that pen tin right now. I'd like to see, I did this at the end of 2023 too. I did an inventory. I wasn't as great at keeping track of all of that stuff, but I think I used around 11 pens in 2024. So I think my 14 pens in the pen tin will, if not completely run out by the end of 2025, I'll be close. I counted my perfumes that I have, like individual perfumes in use, 14. I also counted all other perfume oils. So for me, this would be oils that I use for ritual purposes, oils that I use as ingredients to make candles or other perfumes or whatever. So I have a lot of like perfume oil. I have a lot of like fragrance oils, like single note fragrance oils and things like that I use to make perfumes. So I counted all the ritual oils, all the backups, all the ingredients, fragrance oils, all of that stuff, separate from my individual perfumes that I wear, which again, that number was 14. It is 46. I have 46 bottles of like ritual oils and fragrance oils and blah, blah, blah. Backups. 46 bottles. So I would like that number to go down. I counted my lipsticks because I tend to, like when I want to treat myself, when I'm having a bad day and I'm at the grocery store, I will buy a lipstick or a nail polish. So I counted my lipsticks and my nail polishes because I'd like to stop doing that. Because in my life, lipsticks and nail polishes are forever. I like never run out of them. Like I throw away nail polishes when they dry up or get really gloppy. I don't really run out. And I really only like to use like the same 5 colors over and over again. This particular combination is very weird for me, by the way. Like a cranberry red with like a coppery glitter. Like it's weird. I don't need this combination. But anyway, I would kind of like to get down to like just my top 10 nail polishes. But my nail polish inventory as of the end of 2024 is 28. My lipsticks at the end of 2024, 16. That's pretty good. I could see, like, really, what do I wear? Like 10 different colors, maybe. Eventually, I'd like to be down to 10, but that number will likely, I would just like that number to not get bigger. I want to stop impulse buying lipsticks. I counted my backup journals, so that would be like, you know, I don't actually have any nice journals like this anymore, backups, but I have composition notebooks. So I have 10 backup journals. Like, that's obscene. 10? Some of them, like half of them are like purse size notebooks. They're just like little tiny notebooks that I keep in my purse. But like 5 of them are like full size journals too. And most of them are composition notebooks. So I have 10 backup journals. I have 10 strands of Christmas lights because I buy them at Halloween time. So I'd like to see just how many strands of Christmas lights I go through in a year. Because I do have 3 of them hooked up to each other at once in my stereo room. And I like that number, actually, because it goes all the way around the entire room, and I really enjoy that. So I'm not sure how many I use in a year, but I'm going to know at the end of 2025, because I have 10 backup strands right now. I also counted my tarot decks not in the basement, 9, my oracle decks not in the basement, 11. So we'll see. Like, I don't seem to need very many anymore. I counted my pairs of shoes. I have 12. That's I'm happy with that number. Like, about half of those are boots. I don't need that number to get smaller. I would be fine if that number got a little bigger. It should at least go up to 13 because I'm going to buy another pair of boots as soon as I can. I counted the amount of money I have in my savings account because I would like that number to go up, like I said before. I also counted my fiction books, 17. It would be nice if I could get into fiction enough to want to buy a few. Like, if that number went up to 20 by the end of 2025, that'd be cool, but that's just a silly number. Like, it doesn't really matter what that number does. If it gets smaller, if it gets higher, if it stays the same, it doesn't really matter. I just wrote it down. I also wrote down all the amount of nonfiction books I have upstairs. So there's another nonfiction book section downstairs, but I didn't count those. Those are my reference books, and my reference art books and my nature books are downstairs. I don't know how many of those I have, but I did count the nonfiction books I have upstairs, which includes religious books, music books, metaphysical books, basically everything except nature and art. 74. So significantly more nonfiction books than fiction. And then just a couple other fun things. I counted the number of songs I have on my iPod because I've been acquiring a lot more music digitally. I've been buying music again since switching to a dumb phone. So I assume that number will go up. But as of the end of 2024, I have 10,270 songs. It's actually more than that. But these are the songs that show up when I shuffle all on my iPod. It's just an easy number to grab. And then I counted a couple other things, just personal stuff. Okay. I have talked for 2 hours. Wow. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. This is ridiculous, and I enjoyed it. Okay, bye.